What's up, everybody? I'm Josh Saleh, and welcome to AdoramaXP. The PlayStation State of Play just happened last week, and it kind of happened out of nowhere. I was not expecting it, and it happened right after the Nintendo Direct. Now, tons of new games and previous games that we've seen before. We got a God of War story trailer. Project Eve became Stellar Blade. We got some incredible new Japanese samurai games, a lot of them, and Tekken 8 reveal. Let's go into the PlayStation State of Play and see what we thought. Put your comments in to let us know what you thought. Let's do it. Tekken 8. Incredible graphics, beautiful background. You can see the fire, the rain, and the tanker in the back breaking apart. Honestly, the wind on the clothing of these characters and the rain on their skin. Now, from the blog post from PlayStation, they're saying that this is not CGI and it's actually in-game footage, though just a little pre-rendered, but in 60 frames per second on the PlayStation 5. Now, if this is true, my goodness, that is incredible. Tekken 8 looks absolutely amazing. Stunning visuals and some slow motion as well. Looked like there was some slow motion when fighting, like bullet time or fist time, if you will. Now, this was taken directly from story mode from the PlayStation 5, so they're saying this is actually going to be gameplay. However, it's spliced in with some story mode movie scenes, and it might not be the actual finishing touch that we'll see when the game comes out. There are so many Tekken fans, and the story has continued all the way to 8, which is the one we're coming out with now. And what's awesome about this, I think, is the graphics. We've come such a long way from Tekken, and now you see the graphics are absolutely breathtaking. If this can continue and it doesn't get in the way, maybe lower frame rate, because that's the biggest thing when it comes to fighting games. If it lowers the frame rate, it's not going to be great, because it's all about that precision and how quick you can get those combos out. So hopefully it's not going to get too overwhelming for the system itself. But if it can handle it, my goodness, incredible. We then went over to PSVR 2, which everyone is incredibly excited about. 2 games announced for it. Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy Edge. Now you can see the areas which we know from Disneyland, Galaxy's Edge, the ride, in this game. And the graphics, in my opinion, look a little bit low quality. I wasn't sold on this. I think they could have been a little bit better, especially because this is PSVR 2. So we want to see something that's going to blow us away. I was not really sold on the graphics of this. However, the VR headset is not on me, so that can definitely change when the game comes out. It's a first-person Star Wars game. You see C-3PO, R2-D2, your favorite characters, back again. And it's an action-adventure experience where you'll take on the role of a droid repair technician and you're operating near the Outer Rim. A group of pirates attack you on Batuu, and you'll discover that anyone in the galaxy can become a hero. We saw some dual-wielding blasters, we saw lightsabers, we saw some door hacks, some characters that we met. So it looks like a fun romp through the Star Wars world, maybe for younger audiences or older audiences if you just want that Star Wars POV experience. Next, we got another game for PSVR 2. Now, this game already came out on previous VR headsets, and it is called Demeo. It is a card-based, turn-based dice game, kind of like Dungeons and Dragons, about rolling dice and strategy. Now, the best way I could describe it, like a mix of League of Legends, Clash Royale, Dungeons and Dragons, in a fantastical world. Now, again, not a huge selling point on the PSVR 2. I'm waiting for the Resident Evil PSVR 2 game, or something that's going to push those graphics further on that PSVR 2 to persuade me to get it. Again, another tabletop RPG. It already came out on previous VR headsets, so you can now play this on the PlayStation VR 2 when it comes out. And what's awesome is you can play with other people on different headsets, so they're going to have that cross-compatibility, which Sony has never really been a big fan of, and now they seem to be a huge fan of. Way to go, Sony. A Sega game built from the ground up, which will release in the US for the first time, like a Dragon Ishin. Incredible job bringing this game back. It's the studio behind Yakuza, and the release date is February 2023. Action-adventure historical thriller set in the 1860s in Kyoto, a fictionalized version of Kyoto. Now, it's all about how the samurai era vanished, and you'll have different combat options. You can use your blade, a revolver, a blade and revolver, or just go in bare fisting it. You can summon a tiger to maul enemies, shove plums down enemies' throats, just all that wacky combat that we've seen from Yakuza, and it's all on the Unreal Engine 4. So if you love Yakuza and you didn't get a chance to play this game because it wasn't released in your area, now you have a chance to play Like a Dragon Ishin when it comes out on the PS5. Hogwarts Legacy got some more love in the State of Play, showing a new quest line only for PlayStation players. Again, PlayStation pulls out the exclusives once more. Madame Mason's shop is an ever-changing dungeon where it looks like it's constantly evolving and horror-esque. In a Hogsmeade shop, it's an additional dungeon that you get only for PlayStation users. It's a trick store. You get different doors, escape game style, with maybe a treasure chest at the end of the quest line to get it. And it looks like a dungeon crawler. Maybe it's like a roguelike type thing where every time you go into the dungeon, the rooms change or the level changes. That'd be really cool. We know a lot of games are going into the roguelike world. But it's also a horror element, and we saw a little bit of a horror element when they showed us the Slytherin character in some earlier videos. But it looks super interesting and fun, a different vibe for sure than previous trailers. It's called The Haunted Hogsmeade, exclusively for PlayStation. So for PlayStation users, you get an additional dungeon, Shopkeeper's Cosmetic Set, and an in-game Hogsmeade shop. So if you have PlayStation, or if you don't, maybe a reason to get PlayStation and Hogwarts Legacy. First-person driving game called Pacific Drive comes out in 2023. Your vehicle can be upgraded, your garage can be upgraded. The storyline is you're driving through different terrain, which is in different biomes, where there's aliens and monsters. It's from Ironwood Studios, and it's a run-based first-person driving survival game. You explore the zone, improve your car to keep it running. They call it a road-light game, lol to roguelikes, and each trip from your garage is a new trip, and you need to try and get deeper and deeper into the zone. Upgrade your car and your garage. Looks really cool. Looks like a fun little road-like game to kind of fill in the time before a big AAA game comes in. PlayStation Stars was announced earlier, but now we have a little bit of more information. It's the loyalty program from PlayStation where you earn points for rewards. Kind of like that Nintendo eShop, but the difference is with Nintendo eShop to this one, Nintendo actually gives you money, whereas it looks like Sony's giving you collectibles. NFTs maybe, question mark? Looks like collectibles from Sony's history. We saw a Walkman. We saw some game collectibles that from games that we've previously played. We saw the PS3 collectible. So it looks like Sony's own version of NFTs, and maybe you can trade them, kind of like the Steam cards. Trade them out, sell them, collect a lot of them. For those collectors out there, they love this stuff, so more reason to get them to have. So this looked like a Japanese-style Titanfall game, but it's not that. Where you're going around collecting crystals. Poisonous rain came down from the moon, wiped out nearly all of humankind. They had to build underground havens in order to survive. The rain transformed and mutated all of the animals and creatures on the world into worse enemy types and creatures. So the entire human race is almost wiped out, and you are the only survivors. You can personalize your mech and weapons, create your own playstyle. There's PvP and PvE. Sci-fi third-person shooter game. Seems like you have to always stay in your mech suit. People love mech games, and because there's no Titanfall 3, this will scratch that itch. Project Eve gets a new title called Stellar Blade. The Fall of Humanity, Shift Up Studios. People are in deep sleep, and there's not enough energy for them to come back awake, so you must fight all of the monsters and try and get the world livable again. Very much like a near Bloodborne type of game, if you can see that combat. It's all about precision in combat, making sure you're blocking and dodging at the right time. PS5 exclusive. So we've seen this before, but now it has a new title from Project Eve to Stellar Blade, and a lot of people are excited for this one as well. A bit of a surprise, another Japanese samurai game, The Rise of Ronin, coming out in 2023. It is 1863 Japan, and Japan is being invaded by different colonies. There's air traversal, where you can almost fly through the sky, a grapple hook to get closer to your enemies. It's the team behind Neo and Ninja Gaiden. RPG open world. It's a 7-year project they have been working on this. Open world action RPG in the late 19th century. Japan struggles with oppressive rulers and Western invasion. Choose your path and decide how you want to play it. Very much reminiscent of Ghost of Tsushima, it looks like, and some other Japanese games that are coming out in terms of that samurai world. And finally, we saw another God of War Ragnarok trailer, but this is the actual story trailer, giving us a proper look of all of the different worlds and enemy types. Also, a brand new controller, limited edition DualSense controller for God of War Ragnarok. Nice blue-white coloring right there and the symbol in the middle. Whew! The Chains of Olympus are back. It looks like Kratos has this from the beginning of the game. Atreus is keeping a secret. Will he tell us? I don't know. We see new realms, like a mystical realm, a snow-covered realm, a woods, foresty realm, underwater realm. There are so many different terrains that we're going to have to go through. We saw mermaids. We saw Fenrir. Giant jellyfish. What? Hopefully we can fight the giant jellyfish. And, of course, talking about fighting, we saw a little glimpse of the Thor fight. The axe hitting the hammer, Mjolnir, right in the air, and then them bringing it both back again. Hopefully when we kill Thor, if we kill Thor, we can use Mjolnir at the end of the game and hopefully to the future next God of War game, because that would be incredible. Being able to have Mjolnir in your hands. Question is, does Kratos die in this game? Does Atreus live for a solo game? Does Atreus die in this game? Will Atreus use the hammer if Kratos is not there? Oh, so many questions, so many answers. November 9th, 2022. Cannot wait for God of War Ragnarok.
We will make our own destiny.
That was the Sony PlayStation State of Play. Now, whenever a State of Play happens, everyone has their wishful games that they hope to see, whether it be Forspoken, Spider-Man, Wolverine, you name it. But Sony has been pretty consistent with these State of Plays, games that we're probably familiar with already, and maybe a few world premieres here and there. They're about 15 to 30 minutes in length. What are your thoughts on this State of Play? Were you happy? Were you disappointed? Were you expecting a different game that we didn't get? For me, I thought it was pretty great. We saw that Harry Potter has its very own exclusive for PlayStation. We saw a reveal of Tekken 8, new God of War story trailer, which I had a feeling God of War was already going to be showcased, but now the DualSense controller, that's pretty awesome too if you're a God of War fan. I would have liked to see a PlayStation 5 God of War, but we didn't see that. Maybe they're saving it for another game coming out in the future. We saw some samurai games, a lot of samurai games, a new mech game, driving roguelite game, and more. Let us know what you thought in the comments. Like, subscribe for more. I'm Josh. This was AdoramaXP. Click on the links down below in the bio to join our Discord and our Twitch channel. We'll see you next time. Peace.